I have been trying to pay very close attention to the events that took place before goons invaded the burial event where Rigathi Gachagua was attending. One very sad moment for me is that both the government and Rigathi Gachagua allies are now pointing and accusing fingers at each other. That was a funeral. We had a family that had lost a son, a brother, and they were mourning, they were deeply pained. Now, after this has happened, the usual mannerism or blame game is going on, and this is not helping the family at all. There are people who sustained injuries as the government and the Rigathi Gachagua camp fly accusations against each other. No one is paying for their medical expenses, and this is very shameful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the deceased family knew that Rigathi Gachagua was coming because the young man who died is a very staunch supporter of Rigathi Gachagua. Now, after Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, there are members of parliament, there are leaders, both sitting in office and former MPs who have been aligning to him. And members who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua are trembling because they know very well that their days are numbered. So Rigathi was accompanied by leaders who are allied to him. And in that company, there is a man called Mwadhi Peter Mungai. He is the former member of parliament in Limuru, Kiambu constituency. Now, this funeral event was happening in Limuru. So after Rigathi Gachagua arrived, they had their place and they sat down. And remember, in his company was this former MP, Mwadhi Peter Mungai. Now, the current member of parliament of Limuru is Chege John Kiragu. He came and it is like he snapped Rigathi Gachagua. He declined to sit at the VIP section where Rigathi and the other leaders were seated. So he decided to go and sit with the bishops. And that alone raised eyebrows. Now, and I want you to watch this video with an account of the eyewitnesses who are saying that everything was peaceful, but I believe had been planned. So when leaders were giving their speeches and condolences, the time for Mwadhi Peter Mungai came, and when he arose to speak, that is when chaos started. And I want us to listen to this video courtesy of Citizen TV, because it is going to open up the Pandora's box, and we are going to conclude together, because I want us to see the message that Rigathi Gachagua has for William Ruto. He believes there is Ruto's hand in this. Those who are close to Rigathi Gachagua believe it is Ruto. But those who are anti-Gachagua, proponents of William Ruto, are saying that Rigathi Gachagua stage managed this. So kindly don't go, because I want us to watch this video as those who are there give an account one by one, and you will conclude for yourself that this was planned. Don't go away.
Kupeana rambirambi ikaendelea vizuri mpaka aliyekuwa mbunge wa huku Mheshimiwa Mwadhi kwanza kuongea, ndio watu wameingilia ile hema yenye ilikuwa na naibu wa rais wa zamani, wakaanza kuipiga kwa mawe, kwa vyuma, wakaharibu hema, wakaharibu viti, wakaharibu vyombo vya habari na magari mingi sana. Pia kuna majeruhi wenye hatuwezi taja ni wangapi na magnitude ya majeraha. Tumeghadhabishwa na hilo jambo sana. Tunaombea familia kabisa, na pia tunaomba msamaha kwa wanafamilia, sababu hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza tarajia jambo kama hili linaweza tendeka katika shughuli ya mazishi ya mwenda zao.
Magari ni mingi, hatuwezi kuhesabu kwa saa hii, lakini mojawapo ni ya the former deputy president. Gari yake imeweza kuharibiwa vibaya sana. Magari za wabunge ambao walikuwa wameandamana na mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, ya senator na pia ya marafiki wa familia hii, magari zao zote zimeweza kuharibiwa, hema zimeweza kuangushwa, viti zaidi ya viti 1000 zimeharibiwa, zote zimevujavujwa zikabaki kama pieces. Na kwa hivyo tunaona ni kama kulikuwa na mpango ambao familia na viongozi ambao walikuwa wamefika katika mazishi haya hawakuweza kujua kuna kitu ilikuwa imepangwa. Ni kama kuna jama ilikuwa imepangwa yenye hatukuwa tunajua.
Serikali kama inaogopa kukosolewa.
Kwanza serikali, kama kuna mkono wa serikali, sisi hatuwezi kuelewa ni kwa nini kwa serikali inaogopa kukosolewa. Kwa sababu hii sio serikali ya kwanza. Serikali zimekuwa mingi, duniani mzima kuna serikali, na kukosolewa ni kawaida. Kwa sababu serikali inafaa kufanya kulingana na matarajio na mapenzi ya watu. Kwa hivyo sioni ni kwa nini serikali ingeweza kuogopa kukosolewa. Na pia hakuna mtu ameongea siasa. Watu wote walikuwa tu wanatoa rabirabi kwa familia na kusalimia watu. Ilikuwa tu ni hivyo. Hakukuwa na siasa.
Tukaanza kuona za ile mheshimiwa wa Limuru aliyekuwa kwa kiti, ambaye ako kwa kiti, amekuja akakataa kiti ya VIP. Amekaa kwa kiti ambayo hastahili kukaa. Tukawa suspicious, tukajua hapa si pazuri. Akaketi pale kwa wahubiri. Kwa hivyo mimi nikaona kweli hakuna vile protocol ya MP mwenye amechaguliwa anaweza kubali kwenda kukaa kwa wahubiri, aachane na hema ya VIP yenye imelizaviwa.
We have seen today is an attempted assassination of the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. What we have seen today is not common thuggery, is not common goons. That was just a pretext. Lakini ile kitu tumeona ni majaribio kwa maisha ya aliyekuwa naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua. Na venye tumeona hao wakora walikuwa wana target kwenye Rigathi Gachagua meketi, ile gari Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa anaenda ndani yake, walikuwa wanamtarget yeye mwenyewe. Na hao sio wananchi wa hapa. So we have seen state sponsored terror.
Mimi nilikuwa nimesimama.
Unaitwa nani?
Mimi naitwa Ngodho. Mimi nilikuwa nimesimama, hata sijui niligongwa na nini. Niliona mawe inaenda juu, nafikiri niligongwa na mawe, nikaanguka chini.
You will agree with me that whether it is William Ruto, whether it is Rigathi Gachagua, whoever it was, those goons were hired. And the presence of the current member of parliament and the former member of parliament, and the mere fact that the current member of parliament decided not to sit together in the company of the former member of parliament will tell you that there is a competition between them. And it seems that Rigathi Gachagua is building his team that he wants to go with in 2027. That is my conclusion. I could be wrong. And this is why Chege John Kiragu was somehow scared, or he just decided he was not going to sit together with them. And you see, when we have supporters of a former member of parliament and supporters of the current members of parliament, and they don't sit together, this already created tension. And I would want to advise our leaders, whenever you meet in a public place, for you to quell tension, you need to sit together, greet each other. That alone is a way of preaching peace. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the proponents of William Ruto are saying. One lady called Lady Bianca is saying that it is Rigathi Gachagua that might have stage managed all this chaos. I don't know. Let's actually what she's saying. that Rigathi Gachagua, as a content creator and an actor to attract sympathy, did the following. Number one, he escaped grilling in the Senate by feigning sickness. Number two, while leaving Karen Hospital, he said the state had withdrawn his vehicles. He left with the RAV4. Today, RAV4 wasn't there. A day before the State of the Nation, he claimed that there were security agents in unmarked cars who have been following him wherever he goes. And if something happens to him, the state should be held responsible. A few days after the State of the Nation, he told us his security had been withdrawn. Today, he hired goons to attack him so as to get sympathy. Next time, he'll hire a sniper to shoot his ear and lie to the whole world that the state is after his life. Bianca, I think, is now concluding by what some people thought that the US President-elect Donald Trump, when he was shot, some people were saying that that was stage money. But let me tell you, this lady here is not a security agent. Democratically, she's allowed to give her opinions, but she cannot corroborate any facts to what she has given us. If Rigathi says some people have been following him, if Rigathi says that he does not have any security, this lady does not give us any contrary evidence that Rigathi has the following security. And therefore, I don't want to comment so much in what she's saying because she has got every democratic right. Now, Caleb Hamisi, who is the Saboti member of parliament and a very vocal young member of parliament, is saying this, that I thought Gachagua was already impeached and therefore harmless. What do you intend to achieve by unleashing goons on him? Ama yeye ndio alijipangia? Why continue attacking a man who is already down? Politics of Central will show us things. Kenya needs a renaissance. Let me tell you, Hamisi also cannot believe that this could be the state. That's why he's asking, ama ni Gachagua amejipangia? Because he cannot believe that a man who is already down, a man who has been humiliated, a man who was impeached, can be attacked by goons in a funeral. So you see there are two camps. There are people who feel this is Gachagua who stage managed this, but there are others who feel that this is William Ruto and the government. I want us to read what Rigathi, the message that Rigathi has to the government, if at all, because Rigathi also feels that this was the government. Then we conclude together. And I will be very quick. This is what Rigathi is saying. We will not be scared away from standing with Kenyans who need us to support them in their moments of need. We just expect such a terrible moment of shame will not be repeated. According to him, this is done to intimidate him, to stop him from standing with Kenyans. Remember, Rigathi had told us that he used to tell William Ruto, this is wrong. In the cabinet meetings, he says that Ruto used to bully his way. Whatever he says is alpha and omega. And he says he could tell him on his face that this is wrong. And he feels that one of the reasons why he was impeached is because William Ruto needed puppets who cannot challenge him. So he's telling William Ruto, we will not be intimidated. We will continue standing with Kenyans. As to whether Rigathi used to stand with Kenyans or not, that depends on how you look at it. But Rigathi feels this is Ruto. He feels it is the government of the day, which he was part of just a few months ago. But he's saying we will not be intimidated. And then he continues, this is very sad. This is a very sad state of affairs and a major low for the state, who are clearly complicit in these actions. We just especially remember the family that had a loved one in the casket who had to run to safety despite their profound grief. I mean, it's sad. I want you to imagine it is you burying your loved one, then some goons come and you have to run, leaving, as Rigathi puts it there, your loved one in a casket. Rigathi concludes by saying this: as Kenyans are well aware, earlier this week, the government withdrew the final aspects of my security that was in place after the impeachment process we are contesting. However, we did not raise issue with this decision by the government, although expectations were that any Kenyan, I don't know what he was trying to say, but he's trying to say that they had expected such kind of thing. So, but he's telling the government will not be intimidated. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I want us to just scrutinize something here. One, can Rigathi Gachagua choreograph this? Can he stage manage this? Yes and no. As a politician, he can do anything. The question is, what does he gain by trying to give some goons, money maybe to come and disrupt a funeral in such sad moment? According to Bianca, she feels that it will earn Rigathi sympathy. What kind of sympathy? Because this is just my opinion. Rigathi has already galvanized the support of Mount Kenya. They are with him. You saw that in Embu. So must he go to the extent of causing chaos still in Mount Kenya to gain sympathy? If you ask me, if I was to use elimination method, I would eliminate that. I don't think he can do it because it does not add him anything. He has the support of Mount Kenya. Not unless he wants others who are not from Mount Kenya to feel that now William Ruto is going, overboard. Or maybe if there are few who are still in Mount Kenya who are not aligned to him, to look at him with a lot of sympathy and, join his camp. I don't know. Whichever way, it will be very wrong. If William Ruto is the one, or the government is the one that is doing this, it is a misplaced priority. In the animal kingdom, if you see lions fighting once, one has been subdued and it lies down, mshindi atamwacha. They don't continue fighting once he's laid down. This is what should happen. Rigathi has been impeached, and therefore, if the government still wants to intimidate him more, let the government do it in other ways, but not causing chaos where people are injured. You saw that man who had an injured head or something. It would be wrong. But I want to conclude by doing this. Mount Kenya must be very careful. Don't be misused by anybody, whether the MP, current MP, or the former MP, or anybody within the area, or Rigathi Gachagua, or William Ruto, anybody. Do not allow yourself to be used. Because I saw those youths, and I'm sure that they were not from far, they were just around, maybe from one ward to the other. When you do that, you are killing yourself. Ni nyinyi mnajiua. And I'm sure if at all money was given, if they were to divide that money one by one individually, it would not go beyond 1,000 Kenya shillings. So you are given, or let's say whatever amount of money, to go and beat others and kill or destroy someone's property. How many days can you take with 1,000 shillings? You get into a supermarket, how much can you do with 1,000 shillings? And it is 1,000 shillings that is not constant. You have to wait for another event where they want you to go and cause chaos. Mount Kenya, you were deceived to go and fight Uhuru Kenyatta. You burnt the Northland farm, stole sheep there. You have not yet learned. These are the very youths who are told of bottom-up economy and they were shouting Ruto, Ruto. Someone is back again to misuse them. Instead of ensuring that the government creates jobs that they had promised, they allow themselves to be used. And I'm not saying this is the government. I'm just saying that they should ensure that those who are in power realize their dreams. Because if this is what is going to happen, then bad governance will continue. Rigathi was misused to go and fight Uhuru Kenyatta. Once he fought Uhuru Kenyatta, the tide turned against him. He was removed. People like Ndindi Nyoro were misused. They are now they are the targets. Next will be Kimani Chungwa. And this is the time that Mount Kenya must sit back, must go to their own, own meeting, kama modo wa nyumba, and decide that they're going to live peacefully. They're not going to allow anyone to misuse them. They're going to put from the MCA all the way to the presidency, they're going to put them to task to implement what they had promised them. Do not be gullible once again. You cannot shed your own blood. Whether it is the government or Rigathi or the members of parliament who are trying to fight it out, 2027 is still very far. Kama unataka kuwa mbunge ama MCA ama nani, wacha ule ambaye alichaguliwa aendelee na kazi. Baada ya miaka 5, kazi ya kila mtu itajionyesha. Those who are in power, when they need to be re-elected, they will showcase what they have done. Let us not engage in petty fights, shedding blood, disrupting, and creating chaos in funerals. Mount Kenya must not allow themselves to be exposed anymore. We have respected Mount Kenya always as people who know politics, but this time round, you're being exposed. And not only Mount Kenya, no one should allow themselves to kill each other. The state is kidnapping people, killing them and torturing them. They still want to cause chaos. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is wrong. But the moment the MP decided not to sit together with the former MP, that was the beginning of tensed moments. For Rigathi Gachagua, he says he will not be intimidated. The government side is saying it was stage managed. I don't know. All we demand is peace and respect.